Good morning, everyone. We are from Group 1. Today, I will be discussing the law and regulation governing money laundering with a focus on India and how its legal framework compares with global standard. Money laundering is not just a financial crime, it is deeply connected to corruption, organized crime, drug trafficking, and even terrorism financing. Because of its transnational nature, countries cannot deal with it isolation. This makes legal coordination and regulatory alignment extremely important. In this presentation, I will be examining how India defines and regulates money laundering under its legal framework and how India's system align with international standards such as those developed by the Financial Action Task Force. What is money laundering? Money laundering refers to the process through which illegally obtained money to make it appear as it originates from legitimate source. In simple terms, it is the transformation of dirty money into clean money. This is not a victimless offense. Money laundering enable organized crime to flourish, sustain corruption, and it often linked to terrorism financing. Traditionally, laundering involved cash incentive, business or informal transfer system like Hawala. However, modern methods have evolved significantly. Today, criminals use snail companies, digital payment system, trade-based laundering, and increasingly cryptocurrency to move hiding funds across jurisdictions.
India's legal framework. India primarily regulates money laundering through the Prevention of Money Laundering Act 2002 (PMLA). This law defines the offense of money laundering, allows attachment and confiscation of illegal property, established special courts for trial, created the Financial Intelligence Unit India (FIU India). Other supporting laws include the IPC, NDPS Act, UAPA, and FEMA. India uses both criminal punishment and preventive monitoring to combat laundering. Global legal framework. Globally, anti money laundering systems are based on the FATF 40 recommendations, which act as international standards. Different countries adopt them into domestic laws. USA Bank Secrecy Act and Patriotic Act. European Union AML directives. UK Proceeds of Crime Act. Singapore CDSA. Countries cooperate through mutual evaluation, information sharing, and extradition arrangements. Stages of money laundering. Money laundering occurs in three stages. First, placement, introducing illegal money into the system. Second, layering, complex transactions to hide its origin. Third, integration, reintroducing it as lawful income. Authorities monitor financial patterns at each stage to detect suspicious activity. Regulatory bodies India versus global. In India, key authorities include FIU India, collects and analyzes transaction reports. Enforcement Directorate investigates offence and attaches assets. RBI and other regulators ensure institution complaints. Globally, enforcement is often multi-agency such as FinCEN in the USA or FCA or NCA in UK. India's model is more centralized compared to these systems.
Compliance obligations. Both India and other countries require customer due diligence (KYC), reporting of suspicious transaction, internal compliance mechanism, and audits. India mandates reporting STRs to FIU IND and maintaining transactions records similar to SAR reporting system abroad. This shows strong convergence with global compliance. Penalties and enforcement. Under Indian law, punishment ranges from 3 to 7 years imprisonment. Authorities may attach or confiscate proceeds of crime. Globally, penalties can even stricter, including long imprisonment and massive financial penalties. Asset recovery and regulatory penalties are common worldwide. Emerging challenges. New threats includes cryptocurrency and digital assets, trade-based money laundering through false invoicing, use of AI and technology to hide or detect transactions. Both India and global regulatories are adapting by introducing fintech supervision and digital monitoring. Conclusion. To conclude, India's anti-money laundering framework is increasingly aligned with international standards. A risk-based approach, strong due diligence, technology adoption, and global cooperation are essential. Effective enforcement depends not only on law but also on institutional capacity and international coordination. Thank you.
Good morning, ma'am, and good morning to everyone. I would like to summarize the topic on laws and regulation in money laundering. Before moving into the legal framework of money laundering, I would like to briefly acknowledge that this presentation was inspired by a short academic course which was conducted by Dr. Sharla Devi ma'am from Malaysian University. Over the span of 4 days, the session were designed very differently from usual lectures. Through interactive group activities and discussion, the course encouraged active participation and the collaboration among students. Since money laundering was relatively a new subject for many of us, this session helped us to understand both the concept and the legal aspects surrounding it. So, I would like to sincerely thank Dr. Sarla Devi ma'am for making this subject approachable and engaging for us. So, I am concluding this topic by saying that in India, anti-money laundering laws are actively enforced through the PLA 2002 with agencies like asset recovery, etc. However, implementation continues to face practical challenges. India's large informal economy, the continued use of cash and hawala channels, cross-border digital transaction, and the rise of crypto asset make detention. Overall, while the legal framework is strong, but the real challenge lies in consistent and effective execution. Thank you.